Now, coverage you can count on. Channel 2 Action News at 6.
A teacher at a Christian academy is accused of having an affair with a student. Police have issued an arrest warrant for the woman. She faces sexual assault charges. And that's our top story on Action News. Good evening. I'm Sandra Bookman.
And I'm John Alston. Masters Christian School in DeKalb County has fired the teacher. Police have an arrest warrant for Marie Hiller, but so far she is not in custody. Channel 2's Ross Cavitt is covering our top story. He's live in DeKalb County.
And John, police are waiting for that teacher to turn herself in. That is expected to happen in the next day or two. She is said to be out of state. This is a Baptist-run school on La Vista in DeKalb County, really one of the last places around you'd expect to hear a story like this happening. A teacher apparently having a sexual relationship with a student less than half her age. Tonight, that teacher faces charges of sexual assault, more specifically, sexual assault of a person in custody. 37-year-old Marie Hiller taught science and Bible studies at the Baptist school. She apparently will not be back for the fall term after allegedly being caught in a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old boy who was in her homeroom. Whatever relationship existed between teacher and pupil apparently started in September of last year and, according to police documents, ended in June of this year when the current school year finished. Somehow the 15-year-old boy's mother found out about what was going on and contacted police. The 15-year-old student then told police the relationship with his teacher started with oral sex in her car, then moved to more intimate relations at Hiller's home about a mile away. Later they met at the student's home, even a motel room. Hiller wasn't home today when we visited. Police believe she's with friends in Texas and will return to face the sexual assault charges here in Georgia. The school is run by the Rehoboth Baptist Church. Police say officials here know about the allegations, but they refuse to comment about them today. And this is simply not a case of the student's word against the teacher's. Once school officials found out about the allegations, they did some investigating of their own and apparently found that the teacher in question, Marie Hiller, had confided in another teacher that she was having a sexual relationship with one of the students. Again, the charges that Marie Hiller faces: sexual assault on a person in custody. That simply means that she was assaulted a person who she had a direct relationship and direct supervision over. We're live in DeKalb County. Ross Cavitt, Channel 2 Action News.
Do we know if she left the area because she knew these charges might be filed at some point?
No, by the time police went looking for her, she had already left, and they've only had brief contact with her, so we don't know if she simply left for the summer vacation or because of these charges.
Ross, thank you.
All right.
Authorities in Coweta and Fulton counties are still looking for two men in connection with a suspected kidnapping and rape. A woman says she was abducted by a man in a van while out for a walk yesterday. After a second man later got into that vehicle, she says she was driven to Fulton County, raped by both men, and then let go. Rain and slick tires proved to be a deadly combination last night. Rachel Blen and her 15-year-old daughter Dara died instantly when they ran head-on into a utility truck. Their pickup truck spun out of control on the wet pavement and crossed the center line into oncoming traffic. Richard Long Jr., the driver of that utility truck, was treated at Douglas County Hospital and released.
An 11-year-old boy is still in the hospital tonight with burns over a third of his body. He accidentally set himself on fire while fixing a flat tire on his bike. It happened yesterday on Delmar Lane in northwest Atlanta. Witnesses say Richard Boyd was repairing his tire using rubber cement and a cigarette lighter. A neighbor wrapped the boy in a rug to get the flames out. She then put him in cold, wet towels until an ambulance arrived.
Some Atlanta renters are fighting to keep their apartments during next summer's Olympics. Tenants who rent from in-town properties say the company wants them to sublet their apartments during the games or move out. The renters are protesting right now at the state capitol, and that's where Channel 2's Tony Dorsey is live. Tony?
That's right, Sandra. You heard it before. Do the right thing, play by the rules. Well, these tenants you see behind me picketing say they've done that they've played by the rules. They've paid their rents on time. But despite all that, they say they're being evicted from their apartments, and they've come down here to the state capitol to fight back.
I'm sure they have, and they've been very thorough to make sure that they don't.
Here's the pin mightier than the sword. This Midtown Atlanta tenant sure hopes so.
Rates have already increased 30%, and that who knows what it's going to be by the time the Olympics get here.
Bob Hovey says the owners of the property are kicking him and other tenants out so they can gouge prices during the Olympics. His small apartment could bring in thousands of dollars instead of just hundreds. But tenants like Hovey have to go.
That's pretty pathetic when you've been a perfect tenant and paid your rent on time the entire year and fulfill your lease, and they basically just tell you we decided not to renew it.
In-town Properties wouldn't comment on the controversy, but many of its tenants say the only way they can continue living in their apartments next year will be to pay $3,000 a month rent or sublet their apartments and furnishings to a total stranger. They'll get 30% of the profits.
For them to do it with such lack of morality is outrageous. And there are very, very few rights that the tenants are going to have under these situations.
Legal experts say property owners have more rights, and there's not a whole lot anyone can do. Well, they say that they can't do a whole lot, but that's why they're down here at the state capitol. They're hoping that the special session of the legislature will pick up their issue. They're called ROARR, or Residents Outraged About Rental Rape. That's how seriously they're taking this. They feel like they're being raped, and they want something done about it. We'll just have to wait and see whether the legislature takes up their issue. Reporting live in downtown Atlanta, Tony Dorsey, Channel 2 Action News.
Obviously, we haven't heard at least the last of this from the tenants anyway,
No, we
Tony.
certainly have not.
Thank you, Tony. Public hearings begin tomorrow in Atlanta on the redistricting issue. Citizens will have the chance to make suggestions and recommendations to state lawmakers before next month's special session. The session was called after the U.S. Supreme Court voided the boundaries of Georgia's majority black 11th district. Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney represents the 11th district.
Congressman John Lewis is making the rounds this weekend, marking the 30th anniversary of Medicare and trying to make sure this is not the last celebration. This afternoon, Lewis met with elderly residents at the Wheat Street Towers on Auburn Avenue. He tried to fire up the crowd, saying Republicans in Congress are threatening Medicare with billions of dollars in cuts.
Fear on the Freeway, tomorrow at 6 on Channel 2 Action News.
The Falcons take on the Eagles, Saturday at 7, only on Channel 2.
Young Guns, tomorrow at 5 on Channel 2 Action News.